Here now with more, two members of the House Judiciary Committee who will question Mueller next week, Congressman Matt Gaetz and Andy Biggs. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tammy. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you.
Matt, what kind of circus are you expecting from your colleagues next week? I trust that we expect that because that's all we've had from the Democrats up until now. What do you think is going to happen when this commences?
The principal obligation of the Democrats, from their standpoint, is to use this committee hearing as a launching off point to continue a witch hunt that the American people would like to do away with. Remember, Tammy, it's almost 6 in 10 Americans who oppose the opening of an impeachment inquiry. And what we have before us are the Democrats presenting impeachment in drag. They're sort of dressing up a non-impeachment endeavor as if it were impeachment, and they're going to try to get a license to continue their activity. Meanwhile, we want to support the work that Attorney General Bill Barr is doing to figure out why in the world we had 22 months of the President of the United States being accused of being a Russian agent with zero evidence all the way through. So we want to know when Robert Mueller found out there wasn't collusion, and we're going to expose the bias as well.
Well, this is one of the problems, of course, when you don't control the House of Representatives anymore, right? I mean, we have a chance to change that. Andy, what's interesting is that the American people want action. They want answers. We know that they're not reacting well to this. It continues despite that. Don't we want some real questions? I mean, this is where the Republicans are going to have to deliver as well. Really use this as an opportunity to get answers, as opposed to some additional showboating. What do you think we can expect on that end?
Well, I think we're working hard to put together a list of questions that we think are important. Things like the origins of this investigation and the special counsel, what Mueller knew, what he knew about President Trump not being a target anymore of the investigation, why he waited till after the midterm elections. But Tammy, you're going to see a dud from the Democrats, and I'll tell you why. Because Mueller has already said he's only going to rely on what's in his report. And we already have a tamping down of expectations by Democrats.
You can't, yes, but you can't. But look, he had that weird press conference.
Yes,
him taking
true.
this case in the first. He took it, because, and it was only political from the start. Any person agreeing to take this case is part of the problem. The choices he made with who he hired. I hope the Republicans are not proceeding here, Matt, with the presumption that he's going to play it tight. This is a man, I think, with an agenda, and it is going to be up to the Republicans to at least expose that in the nature of how they handle the questioning of Mr. Mueller. Would you not agree, Matt?
I would. We have to do more than just question Robert Mueller. We have to expose the bias investigation that was run, and we also have to expose the substantial omissions in the Mueller report. There were factual mistakes. For example, people who had ties to the U.S. State Department and Western intelligence were identified as only having ties to Russian intelligence, and there were circumstances where Russians tried to undermine our confidence in our duly elected president by feeding lies into the Steele dossier paid for by Democrats, and I think that's the real collusion we got to ask about.
I hear you. I hear you. I'll ask Andy this as well. If you could ask one question, what would it be, Matt? Can you quickly give me one question?
I think that we're going to ask a question about how he selected his team. What were the standards used? What were the conflicts of interest that he tried to vet through?
Andy, what about you? What would you want to hear?
Tammy, I want to know when he knew Donald Trump wasn't the target and why they waited so long to reveal it to the American public, to wait till after the midterm elections. Was it deliberate you know?
Good. Those are substantive questions, and I appreciate that because we're going to have to hear a bunch of those. Gentlemen, Congressman, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you.